Welcome to the Psychology with Mel podcast. In the previous episode, I talked about mental health in general and the traditional way to treat mental illnesses. In this episode, I would like to share with you all about my journey toward being an art therapist. I was fortunate to be raised by very understanding and supportive parents. Growing up, I showed them my interest in art and they started to put me in art classes so that the skill can be developed. I did acknowledge that parents in Asia in general do not see art as a potential career. So as I was given the opportunity, I grabbed it with both hands. At the age of 14, I found myself being intrigued by psychological ideas and being able to provide help to others. So I started to learn and did much research on it. And at the same time, I continued to practice art. At the end of high school, I thought to myself, why not combine art and therapy so that I can help people and do the thing I love simultaneously? As I grew older, I realized how influential art is. Politics, economy, and culture can be potentially influenced by art. During the Vietnam War, the US government used psychological warfare as a technique to win. They printed out drawings of happy families in daily newspapers and sold them to everyone so they could be manipulated and do what the US told them to do in order to achieve what they see in the newspaper, happy family. Another example is Dadaism, an art movement that took place in World War II that changed many people's mind about the war and the government that they were supporting. You see, art is powerful. So, coming back to art therapy, it is not just coloring books for adults that you can find in any bookstore. Coloring books allow you to color in line, to color in the pre-designed that are printed in the book. Art therapy, on the other hand, does not have any pre-drawn to begin with. Patients who participate in art therapy paint whatever they like, whatever they feel, even though to everyone else, the art doesn't really make any sense. Therapy is about talking about your feeling, but some people might find it hard to share things verbally with their therapist. So by making art, it is easier for them to do so. But there is a misconception about art therapy though. People think we therapists look at the patient's drawing and diagnose it, analyze it to know the patient's feelings. Like, oh, you use red to color a man who goes buy milk and does not come back. That means you have an unhealthy relationship with your father, and that you are angry about it. Or you paint the universe in a very unique style, which means you have an existential crisis and questions about society twice an hour a day. It is not like that at all. Art is subjective. It is not up to the therapist to tell the story. The privilege is the client's. Only they can share their side of the story. Only they can make sense of it. The time I worked in this art therapy industry, many people are anxious about not being able to draw or they're not really confident. You do not need to know how to draw or paint to participate in art therapy. Sometimes you won't touch a brush or pencil at all during a session. Sometimes you spend all your time talking about an image that you choose in a bunch of images prepared by your art therapist. Sometimes you can spend 2 to 3 sessions in a row working on a piece of art and continuously have in-depth conversation with the art therapist about the work. Art therapy is about focuses on the process of psychological growth through creativity, not the goal of creating work of arts. Have you ever thought of trying this type of therapy? Either because you feel like other type of therapy do not work for you or because you want to try a new one? If you find this helpful, please consider sharing this podcast because who knows, this can help others too. Follow me on Spotify and my website, Psychology with Mel, where I will update really interesting psychological ideas every Sunday. Thank you for listening.